Start with a Twitter Clubhouse report. Let's bring in CNBC contributor and platformer editor Casey Newton, along with early Snapchat investor and general partner at Telstra Ventures, Yash Patel. Casey, great to see you. Yash, welcome. Great to have you.
Thank you.
Casey,
nice
let me begin with you. We sort of know that they're in this expansionary mindset with regard to product, Twitter that is. I wonder how much faith you put in these reports and whether it makes sense.
Look, I think this is real. Twitter has shown over its history that it likes to go out and buy these networks when they are on the come up, whether it was Vine, the early video app, or Periscope, the live streaming app, and they are still stinging from the fact that they tried to buy Instagram and let it go to Facebook. So I absolutely believe that they wanted to get Clubhouse while it was still hot.
Yash, you agree?
Yeah, well, I totally agree. Twitter has a history of failed M&A attempts, as we talked about with Periscope and Instagram. But the other issue here is that we have never seen a startup backed by firms such as Andreessen Horowitz that put $100 million into the last round that has actually had such an emotional kind of vesting in this beyond just the capital they're putting in. Their senior partners, Ben Horowitz, Mark Andreessen, they're on the platform. They're seeding the celebrities on there. They're calling up musicians, athletes, and others to get onto this platform. And if you think about Twitter in the early days, that's how it really kind of grew. And so, when you think about the breakdown of these talks, the $4 billion, I don't really think Clubhouse was that serious. They want to create a fully blown independent, company in sort of this audio world that they're kind of going after. And the other thing that's interesting is, it could be a fishing expedition by Twitter, right? We see a lot of copycats out here in big tech. We've seen Twitter Spaces, LinkedIn is one, a new sort of competitive platform. And this is something that is a trend that continues to kind of affect tech startups all around. As an earlier investor in Snapchat, we saw
Yash, it's really impressive to see Yash, it's impressive to see that big push that Andreessen Horowitz is putting into Clubhouse. And I want to ask you, Casey, with that in mind, do you think that Twitter's version of Clubhouse, Twitter Spaces, has a real chance to succeed? Or do you think that we'll see Facebook be able to successfully copy it? Or is Clubhouse really a different kind of startup because it has that Andreessen Horowitz heft behind it?
I think about it this way. Everybody who's famous on Clubhouse now was famous on Twitter before, right? Clubhouse got its early heat because people were going on Twitter and tweeting, hey, join my Clubhouse. So I think that speaks to the fact that to the extent that Clubhouse is going to be successful, Twitter could too. But it's a big design challenge for them. It's a product challenge. How do you build this sort of new audio network into the timeline that we're all used to? So it's a real challenge. But look, if you look at the download numbers for Clubhouse over the past month, they are way down from where they were the month previously. So I do think that there's a question about how viable Clubhouse is going to be as an independent company over the long term.
Right. Yash, one VC, ironically, on Twitter suggested that perhaps this isn't just a Clubhouse problem for Twitter, but we could be seeing the unbundling of the platform at large. He said that Substack is coming for long-form Twitter, Mirror is coming for crypto Twitter, Signal and WhatsApp are coming for private Twitter. Do you see that being the case? Are sort of all of these startups eating into Twitter's different businesses or uses? Is that a substantial threat?
Absolutely. I think we're seeing the unbundling of audio Twitter in this case. And in particular, we've always seen, talk show radio hosts and the value and the interest that consumers have there. But what Clubhouse is doing differently is they're tapping into this whole idea of the creator economy, the idea that anyone like myself can actually get on Clubhouse, can listen to intimate conversations, but also be a creator themselves, right? I'm not a big user of Instagram. I'm not a big user of Twitter, but I love the audio and sort of the spoken word. And that is sort of a different sort of demographic they're going after in a much bigger way. And that can be something that, with the launch of Clubhouse tipping as an example on the monetization side, can be really sustainable. We're seeing, monetization, tactics really being adopted from areas such as gaming and Twitch as an example. And Clubhouse, I expect to kind of follow suit in a very strong, manner.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.